Tom Holland has had enough of acting. Tom Cruise throws another tantrum, and apparently Ezra Miller can do no wrong. All this on the Movie Mob Podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Movie Mob Podcast here, episode 54 here in studio, joined just by myself with Nick. No Matt this week on this episode. We're actually pre-recording this because right about now when you're watching this, I'm going to be on vacation, so...
Where are you going, RJ?
We're going to Sicily. Me and my family.
Rough life.
Yeah,
Must be
rough
difficult
life.
being RJ.
It's a very poor country.
Weren't you just in Italy like a few months back?
Last summer, I was in the mainland. Yeah, I know. I'm having withdrawals, but
apparently, I just want you to know that I understand that my schedule had conflicts with my schedule, but I do appreciate the invite.
Yep.
And who knows? Maybe since we're missing next week, we won't have an episode next week.
Yeah, no episode after this week.
Right. Well, there will be episodes after this week.
We'll bounce back.
Right.
Yeah.
We're missing one because, but maybe you'll send us a message that I can post from Sicily.
Yes. Yes. I'll put something in. Maybe a question of the day.
Right. About how difficult your life in Sicily
sun
is.
Exposure, a lot of water.
Yeah. Drink lots of water.
Spritzes.
Yeah. Sure. Whatever it takes.
But we pre-recorded this because we wanted to, get an episode out, obviously. So Nick and I picked out 3 big topics that we felt like we could dive deep into and discuss here. So no news today, but kind of news. Tom Holland's a pussy. I didn't write that. So news came out the other day, or probably a week ago when this comes out, that Tom Holland has taken a year break from acting.
Yeah, from the industry in general, yeah.
Yeah, he said he was golfing, going to Grand Prix, doing a lot of that stuff. This isn't the first time I think we've heard actors do some things like that. Sometimes they don't make it public knowledge,
right?
Like he did. But a lot of controversy because his Apple TV Plus series just came out called The Crowded Room. Mm-hmm. It's come out with very poor reviews, 29% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics. Audience is another thing, which we'll talk about in a minute, but not great reviews. This isn't the first time that a Tom Holland movie has gotten bad reviews. Obviously, his Spider-Man movies have been a success, but his other work, not so much. I don't know. This is interesting because there's been a lot of confusion. People thought that he announced this because of the bad reviews of The Crowded Room, but actually he's already 8 months into his year off.
Which doesn't that make sense then, that's why he would talk about it?
Yes.
Okay.
So he started, I'm assuming, his break from acting after he shot this, which he has said it kind of forced him into a mental breakdown of sorts when he was playing this character, because I believe he's someone wrongly accused of murder. Is that the series? That's what it's about.
I have no idea. I haven't seen it.
Let me read it. In Manhattan in the summer of 1979, a young man is arrested for a shocking crime, and an unlikely investigator must solve the mystery behind it before the true criminal strikes again. So obviously he's playing a criminal, whether or not he did it or not, but it's probably a mentally tolling role, according to him. But this is what he had to say right here. He said, "I was seeing myself in the character, but in my personal life," which obviously we've heard of that. "I remember having a bit of a meltdown at home and thinking like, I'm going to shave my head. I need to shave my head because I need to get rid of this character. And obviously we were mid-shooting, so I decided not to. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced before." So that's what happens when you don't do a superhero movie. But it's interesting. I mean, we've heard actors say this notoriously, like, oh, I go home after a role and I can't get out of character. I'm not an actor. I've never experienced that. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but apparently the reviews for this this show aren't that good. So how deep did he really get into this role, Nick? I don't know.
So, okay. Can we talk about this from a production standpoint?
Yeah.
Okay, really quick. So like in between action and cut,
yep.
What would you say? Let's use Cadillac, the movie that we made. How much time do actors have to remain in character?
In between?
In between action and cut, on average.
They don't have to.
A minute? No, they do. In between action and cut.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, yes.
During a take.
Yes.
A minute? 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Unless it's a crazy thing like on Succession when they film for half an hour straight.
Yeah.
Okay? So, like, I've never understood this, like, this method acting that takes over your entire life. Like Heath Ledger, who lives as the Joker before he died. And, like, Tom...
Which people have come out and said that wasn't even true, too.
Sure, but I'm just saying, like these... he needs to shave his head because he's
like
bad
he feels that, yeah.
There's something else. First of all, if it's true, you need medication, Tom.
Right,
you
there's
need
other
therapy.
underlying issues.
Yeah,
probably.
you're
yes.
not the character. I don't know if you know this or not, but your job is to play pretend. Yeah. It's to be something else. If you're living your life as the character, then there's something wrong with you. This is my issue with, like, Jeremy Strong. But Jeremy Strong has admittedly said, I mean, he's a weirdo. But he only does that while he's on set. The guy has a family. Right. Like, he goes home to his family, and you know what I mean?
But that's in his control. Tom Holland's situation, he's claiming that it's he's, like, can't control it.
Right, which is why I feel like it's a big... I want your opinion, but it's a publicity stunt. It's bullshit.
For me, like, if I'm, like, say, like, I'm writing a script and it's, like, a very dark thing, like, the content is not something that'll cheer you up, I will find myself, like, being in a headspace after I put it down, like, you know, because you're dealing... But then, like, an hour later, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do I, like, live for a few months trying to get out of that headspace? No. So
do you need to take a year? Well, now, so here's the other thing. He did say, Tom Holland did say that he didn't just act in this. He also produced it. Right. And this is why I say that he's being a crybaby.
But is he a producer or is he here's my name on the credits?
I don't know. But what I'm saying is that he said that it was a lot of work for him.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go talk to somebody who works 3 shifts at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Okay?
But if he actually was producing the show and acting, that takes a lot out of you. I can't imagine.
Bro, but, like, you don't take a year. Listen, this is the biggest... Oh, I'm not trying to get, like...
hang on. So you have an issue with him...
He's a multi-millionaire. He takes a year off. He needs to separate himself from the industry.
I don't know. If you had that...
Come on. Give me a break,
If you had fuck you money, wouldn't... You can take a year off.
But I wouldn't feel the need to announce it. And
yes, I agree with you. That is the weirder part.
You know what I mean?
So I have no issue. There's plenty of actors that probably do this. Take 6 months off, 12 months off.
We just started this episode by saying that you're going on vacation.
Yeah,
it's
right.
But it's not. And you might be like, listen, you work very hard on this show. You have a second job. I bitch about it all the time because I wish you were here all the time. So, like, you work very hard. But you're going to Italy because it's a vacation that was planned. You're not going, and
because
then
I need it.
We're like putting an announcement out that there's no movie mob next week because RJ needs a time to reflect. He's like, fuck off, dude. This is your job. If you don't want to produce something, you can go right back to acting without having to produce anything. Right. You make what, 1 movie a year?
Like mental health, big issue. Like,
of course.
I'm always for that.
But give me a fucking dude. At what point do we draw the line, though? That's what I want to know.
At what point does this cross into he actually had a mental health thing, or it's a marketing thing too?
Yeah, that's okay.
So if he's like, I dive so deep into this role, like everyone's gonna watch this performance.
Exactly. Who announces a year off 8 months into that year?
Right.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right when the show comes out. You're exactly right. That's why people got it confused with maybe he took the year off because of the negative reviews. We obviously had already taken it. So it's at a 30% critic, but the audience score is 91%. Now that, to me, though, is Tom Holland is one of those actors, just like Timothée Chalamet, who has, like, a big fan base.
Well, he's
where
a good
they're
actor.
going to go out to just like, give those 5 out of 5 reviews because it's Tom Holland.
Do you think people actually do that?
Yes. Look, the first review that popped up here. So I watched the first 3 episodes, and wow, is there any character Tom Holland cannot play? Like, yeah, there are. There's plenty.
Okay.
Listen, I don't want to shit on Tom Holland because I love his portrayal of Spider-Man. I think he's fantastic as Peter Parker. But
have you watched this?
No, I have not. But I have seen him in other things, and he's not. I don't think he's a bad actor, but I don't think he's the best actor either. He's obviously he's older than me, but he does have that childish nature to him, which is perfect for Peter Parker, but playing like a murderer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Can I pull a trailer or something for it?
Sure, let's throw it on there.
I want to see.
Sorry, and obviously, listen, if he's going through some real mental stuff, I hope he obviously gets on the other side of it. We're going to talk about another situation like that, probably even a worse way to handle it. It's called The Crowded Room. And obviously he's spoken about the Spider-Man movies too. You know, for a good period there, he was in from 2016 when they did Civil War all the way up to Endgame 2019, and then they did 2 more Spider-Man movies. So he's been doing those too.
Okay, but like, so here, before we go to that really quick, I just want to say, so like
he's also dating Zendaya. A lot of pressure.
Blow me. Like, what? Are you Okay, here's my issue though, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have shows out right now like The Idol, okay?
Yep.
And I know you're not a fan, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
But Lily, you have people like Lily Rose Depp,
mm-hmm.
right? Who's starring in The Idol.
I've heard she's great.
She's actually really good.
Yeah.
And The Weeknd should keep to singing. And
I
have way more to say about it. Tune in.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I mentioned The Idol is because that there is someone who, while they're on set, literally has to be naked most of the time. Yeah. Very vulnerable state, and like shooting that, like you can't get the way that the film set works, right? Is like she won't have time in between takes or in between scenes or whatever it is to get fully dressed, feel totally comfortable, and then go back onto set and get undressed and go back to the. So this woman, Lily Rose Depp, has to be naked for most of the day. Yep. You know what I mean? When they're shooting these scenes like this. And you don't see her coming out and say, like, she's been advocating for the show. Everybody's been shitting on the show, and she's been like, no, I think it's a really important story, or whatever it is.
And it's work she's done, so obviously she's proud of it.
But what I'm saying is it doesn't necessarily make it easy. You know what I mean?
No. I don't think we're saying it's easy.
But what I mean is that Tom Holland is not a murderer, okay? As far as we know, hopefully.
Yeah, who knows?
I know.
Yeah.
And although the work itself might be strenuous on his mental health, which again, mental health super important, but like there's a lot of fucking downtime, okay?
Right. Does he go home after Spider-Man? He's shooting webs in his living room? Yeah.
Maybe by himself.
From a certain point of view.
Or with Zendaya.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Jeez.
But do you get what I mean though?
Yeah.
Like you're not like, I don't know. I mentioned this stuff because like we just shot a mob movie. Okay, great actor Savino, right? Yep. Savino played the mob boss. I highly doubt that like we shot it over a couple of weekends. I highly doubt that during the week that we weren't shooting in the middle that Savino was walking around Providence going, "Hey, oh!"
And obviously, short film, big difference though.
Sure, but I'm talking about acting. I'm talking about acting and being in character and all of that stuff. I don't think that John Potvin had that much of an issue. Right. You jump in, you do your job the right way, you say your lines, and yes, there are. Let's watch this trailer because I want to see what this is about, really. But
I was gonna say though, like Michael J. White, who was on the Dark Knight, said on, I think it might have been Joe Rogan. He was talking about Heath Ledger, and he said that like these rumors about Heath Ledger like being like consumed by the Joker were false, and that in between takes he was the nicest guy, like laughing and joking around.
Yeah, he was just a drug addict.
Some of the best actors can do that. You know.
Yeah. No. Listen, I get it, and but that's what makes them
the
good.
Hair. You know what I'm saying?
Let's watch. I want to see what the character is.
There's a knife.
You know why you're here?
I have these blank spots.
What are you not telling yourself?
Did you see him run? Did you see him run?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it seems like a generic crime thriller show.
What, generic? Bro, I got the chills. I think it's beautiful. It's beautifully shot. I think it looks really. I like. It's a period piece. It's clearly in the
money out the wazoo.
I get it. But like the cinematography, like the way I like the angles, the composition of the shots and everything. The lighting looks super cool. It looks really good.
Every trailer we watch looks really good.
Maybe I'm just in a good mood today.
You gonna try it?
Maybe.
Yeah. I just don't buy him in the role, but that's me.
I mean, I don't know.
I see Spider-Man with long hair, but listen, maybe it's good. Try it out.
You didn't watch that trailer and think this could be decent?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I've seen it before.
That's fair.
Let's get into our second topic here.
Whoa! Can we at least close up this thing on Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Wait. What's the verdict here? So
what's the verdict?
Is he just being a pain in the ass? Is it publicity or what?
I think it's completely normal for someone to take a break from acting. I just think the fact that he announced it like that makes me think it might be a marketing thing.
Right. Fair
Somewhat.
enough. I totally agree.
To some degree.
Oh, no, I think it is. I think they called him and said, listen, these critic scores are crazy, and nobody believes you because they see Spider-Man with long hair.
Yeah.
So you need to make this like you almost killed somebody.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I agree. But Tom Cruise might kill somebody.
I love it, dude.
At Paramount executives life's on the line right now. Tom Cruise is reportedly pissed off that Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan's next film, is going to be stealing all the IMAX screens when it releases a week after Mission Impossible releases. So Mission Impossible releases on July 12th, and then Oppenheimer comes out. So Mission Impossible will have the IMAX screenings from July 12th until Oppenheimer releases July 21st, in which it'll hold the IMAX screenings for 3 weeks. Now, to preface this, Oppenheimer had their release date way before Mission Impossible did. They secured the IMAX screenings, and Mission Impossible moved up their date. So it was supposed to come out later at one point, and they moved it up. So, listen, this isn't the first time Tom Cruise has been vocal about stuff like this. Paramount wanted to put Top Gun Maverick out on Paramount Plus. Imagine if they did that. That movie made over $1 billion. Like, good on him for, like, he's been an advocate for putting movies in the theaters. I get it.
Sure.
To me, though, isn't this something you look into before? When you move that release date up and you see Oppenheimer's already there, why are you picking that date?
So
I get it's a big summer movie, but maybe drop it in August.
Yeah, well, he was concerned about dropping it in August, apparently, because
Why?
it was, like, too close to, I don't know, the school year or whatever it was, like the end of the summer.
Right, he wants that full summer rush.
Right,
Sure.
he wants the total availability of anybody who can go to the movies and is going to go to the movies.
Which makes sense. Yeah, and they shot a lot of it on IMAX. I understand that.
Yep.
But I just think, then push it. Don't move the release date up.
Yeah, if anything, move it back.
I mean, Top Gun was finished. I could get the date wrong, but they had Top Gun Maverick done since like 2019.
Oh, no way.
Yes. In that he kept pushing it off because then COVID hit, the theaters closed. Paramount was like, let's just put this on Paramount Plus. And thank God it made a shit ton of money. It was the biggest movie. It really brought theaters back.
It's the best. It's like the best
if
thing.
If that came out on Paramount Plus, that's not getting a Best Picture nomination.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. I don't think so either. Now,
and that's a movie you need, like, the theater experience is huge, so I understand that.
Yeah.
So I don't think, I understand where he's coming from. I just think, like, there's no way Oppenheimer moves.
Not
you have the high
chance
ground
in fucking hell. Yeah, he does have the high ground. There is no the amount of like innovation and publicity and like media coverage and marketing and everything that's gone into Oppenheimer. There's not a chance in friggin' hell. If I was Christopher Nolan, I wouldn't move an inch. I'd say pray to Xenu. All right, you Scientologists.
Listen, he forced Warner Brothers into releasing Tenet in theaters.
Yeah.
And that didn't work out very well. What do you? Well, also to me, like, picking this date seems like it was a mistake in a lot of ways because you also have Barbie coming out. Now, I'm not saying that the Mission Impossible crowd is going to see Barbie, but I'm seeing both. There's some crossover to some degree. Yeah. But to me, I don't know. I think it was a mistake to move the date
for Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Or push it to next summer.
Well, yeah. If you're willing to push something like Top Gun Maverick 3 years,
right?
Why wouldn't you push?
Any
Mission
chance
Impossible.
This gets pushed?
I don't know.
We're very close.
He's throwing a tantrum about it, and but it's so weird that listen. The thing that I don't like is like if I was the guy who was in charge of the release dates, right? And it's very close. If someone came up to me and said, "Hey, we're thinking about moving this movie to even like as like from where we're at right now," and this story is from like it's a couple weeks old at this point. Let's be honest, but it's not months and months old. It's just a couple weeks. No. So like, if we had an August release date for a film, and then someone said, "Oh, we should move it up to July or June or whatever," I'd be like, "It's June,
right?
No." Get out of my office.
Well, I just
That's
checked.
what I would say.
So we're a month away from this movie coming out.
No. But what was the original release date?
I think
it was like late August.
Maybe.
Or mid-August.
Dead Reckoning. Well, the reason I looked this up was the tickets are already on sale, so this thing's not moving.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're already less than a month away from the movie. The tickets are on sale on AMC's website. They got it front page on there. So you can't. There's no way. There's no way. I'm trying to think. So the film was originally scheduled to premiere on July 23rd. So that would be the premiere.
Yeah.
No, what? Oh, interesting.
What?
The movie was originally scheduled to premiere on July 23rd, 2021. Subsequent delays caused by the COVID-19 pandemic pushed the date.
So this is another film that they've had in the can for a year?
It's a part one. So I think the next part comes out next year, which is probably why they don't want to push this to next year, because then you're going to push the other movie to the year after.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I love the Mission Impossible movies. I don't think this is going to make $1 billion like Top Gun did.
Oh, there's no way.
And I think it'll fit fine. I think the bigger issue here is the fact that the IMAX screen is, but to a normal viewer, I don't think they're going to give a shit.
Well, and I think this is what the execs and all of these people in control of these release dates said to Tom Cruise. Like, listen, if this was Top Gun Maverick, okay, fine. We're talking about the 7th and 8th movie in a franchise versus literally new technology that was created for this.
And it's Nolan. Nolan owns IMAX. Like, you know, like not literally,
and he's
but
true
like,
to film. I pulled this up just to kind of play in the background. In the meantime, it's just because I saw your note in there about how long the movie is.
It's 11 miles long, 600 pounds each one.
Like, just that process, like literal absolute chills, dude. Just the process of them like moving
listen, I respected the shit out of people who shoot on film. It would just stress me out way too much. Well, you have all the mistakes that could go wrong with that.
And you have to scan it. Color grade and edit in the computer, and then scan it back onto film, print. And
if Nolan wasn't, who he is, like a studio like this would probably be having a heart attack.
Yeah, no, I
pushing
know.
out all those film, but yeah, I mean, you
11
gotta know.
miles of film and all this other stuff. Like the reason that we know this, because how long? What's another movie that was in IMAX? Do you remember when IMAX first came out, or were you too young?
No, I was probably too young.
IMAX, I feel like it's recent, but it could be.
Yeah,
could be not that recent. I could be.
I mean, I think it's existed for a while, but it hasn't entered the normal zeitgeist for recently.
And for the longest time, IMAX was like, you go on a school field trip to like the Museum of Natural Science or Museum of Science or whatever it is, and you see like a 5-minute documentary in an IMAX theater as a school, and it's got a bunch of like monkeys and birds, and it was like Planet Earth. You know what I mean? That was IMAX. That was all they did on IMAX. And then it was like, it ended up being something they do in films, like in more mainstream stuff, because it's so huge. But like,
I'm trying to find the exact list, because there's only a very like less than 50 theaters in the country that have an actual capability of 70 millimeter like laser IMAX screen.
Yeah.
So that's it's still not there yet. Because think about how much space you need for that screen.
Have you seen those cameras, like the BTS of when they do the handheld shots?
But it's crazy too when you think about it. Like when I think it was Jordan Peele's Nope. They shot some of that on IMAX, and they had to shoot it. I forget exactly, but they had to shoot it at a certain time because they knew Nolan needed the cameras for Oppenheimer. So that's what I'm saying. There's not many cameras either.
Well, yeah, it's not mainstream because
it's
so
crazy.
Expensive. So IMAX is weird because there's like the cameras are so large that they have like a weird configuration to them, and because like they're using the original cameras. Like they haven't updated the cameras since they were made. So like in the shot of Robert Downey Jr., and he's like, there's a shot of him, and it's in black and white, and he's sitting in the back of a car or whatever, right? He has on his lap in that shot, he said in an interview, he has the film like cartridge that holds the real film.
He did say that when he was
on
riding
his
in the
lap.
back. Yeah.
On his lap, just sitting there, like, and it's going underneath him. That's crazy to me.
Didn't he say he felt like he was like back in the 40s making a movie?
That's so cool, dude.
No, it is.
I mean, that's so cool. Like, I don't know. But
to me, like from a visual standpoint,
yeah.
I'm glad that IMAX is only used for the movies that it is. I feel like it works with action movies. feel like it works with Nolan's style.
Was Top Gun IMAX or no?
Yeah, most of it.
Yeah,
most of the flying stuff was IMAX.
Yeah.
And when you go there, you can see the aspect ratio shift. You know, some parts of it aren't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, if you watch a movie on like Disney Plus, they'll have the IMAX version, but then you'll see the aspect ratio shift. And it could be jarring to some people, but I don't really notice it. If you're locked into a movie.
Yeah. Especially if it's a good movie.
Right. And it's great for the scenic shots, whatever, but I think it's good in moderation. Unless you're Nolan.
Well, and see, the thing with Nolan, right, is that, like, I'm not going to care that it's IMAX or not.
Right, I'm going either way.
I'm going to watch it.
Still good without my IMAX.
But to watch whatever composition he puts on a screen, like, in IMAX, is definitely going to be worth it, in my opinion.
Definitely.
You know? Yeah.
But I don't know. Obviously, to me, Mission Impossible, it can't move. If tickets are already on sale, it's not moving. Oppenheimer's not going anywhere. They're going to stand firm. They already got the screens locked.
So what would you say to Tom Cruise? You're the executive.
I would say I understand where you're coming from, but I think you dug your own hole here, picking that release date.
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
There's no way. Have they shot the second part of it yet? Do you know?
I think they shot it back to back. They're probably still in
post-production,
but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, he can
Interesting.
screw. Yeah.
But last topic here, speaking of movies that just came out, well, actually, The Flash will be out when this episode drops, but the premiere happened a few days ago in L.A. In Mr. Ezra Miller, the star of the film, The Flash himself, hit red carpet. First public appearance in, 6 months? No, nearly 2 years. According to this public appearance, very interesting. Was not allowed to speak to the media.
Why is that, RJ?
Well, if you guys are unfamiliar with Ezra Miller's recent 2-year stint with a lot of criminal activity, some abuse things, a lot of drunk interactions. It seems like he was in. I forget if he was in Alaska or something, where he was like staying with a family, and then he threatened to kill the family. Crazy, erratic behavior. Obviously, there's some mental health stuff going on there. They've addressed that. Ezra Miller has come out and said that they're seeking help for that.
Are they?
We'll see. But on the red carpet, with the cast, taking pictures with Ben Affleck, J-Lo, everyone's acting as if nothing happened. Now, obviously, not speaking to the media, I'm not surprised. Because every question is going to be the same. And what are they going to say? You know what I'm saying?
You're doing good with this,
thank you.
You're doing really good with
this.
How many Ezras are there?
In The Flash, multiple. But you know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
Yeah.
He's just going to, they're just going to read off, like.
You were doing so good. You were doing so good.
Don't bring attention to it.
I know. I'm sorry.
But you're seriously, you're going to hear the same PR written thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Ezra, how are you feeling after this? Or how does it feel to be at the red carpet after all? You know what I'm saying? It's just
where is there a girl in the trunk of your car?
Right. Yeah. And it's not going to get any answers. So
no, of course not.
Yeah.
No comment or whatever.
But it is weird. Like, you watch some of the footage and them taking pictures with the director and, like I said, Ben Affleck, and like it's like the elephant in the room that no one is addressing.
Yeah, I guess.
What do you think about it? But what do you think about this overall in terms of, like, the fact that we've seen this stuff, Jonathan Majors, stuff like this has happened before, and it seems like somehow they escaped it.
I was going to say Alec Baldwin, the fact that those charges got dropped.
I think
and everything
the difference
else.
here, and it's been the difference, is that this movie was in production for years. They've been trying to make this, and it was done.
Okay. I was looking.
I think that's the biggest thing, right?
Well,
the movie was done.
Yeah, I was.
You can't just
I was
scrap
talking
it.
more on like a charges being dropped versus famous people going to jail versus not going to jail. I mean, there's all these allegations and everything, but nothing's happened to Ezra Miller. You know.
Well, because not to say that what he did was okay, but like he didn't murder anyone. So like, could his team pay off those people? You know, probably.
Sure, but like if you're famous, you get a little bit of a pass.
There's a double standard, 100%.
That's a problem to me.
I'm more interested.
I also find it interesting, not to cut you off, but I also find it interesting that how much they're owned by these studios. When a studio says, can you imagine me telling you, like, you're not allowed to talk to the press?
Right.
Wouldn't you tell me to go? I mean, I would tell you. I'd be like, go fuck yourself. What are you talking
Well, then careers are more over.
about? You think his career's over?
Let's talk about what Andy Muschietti had to say. So Andy Muschietti, the director of the film, they asked him, would Ezra Miller return in a potential sequel? Now, I've heard rumors that they actually wrote a sequel, whether or not it's going to get made or not. And he said that he'd welcome Ezra back and doesn't think there's anyone that can play that character as well as they did. That's what he said. Now, to me, that is, we're not going to tell you that Ezra's done as the Flash because the movie's still going to come out and people aren't going to see it if they think this is a one-off. You know what I mean?
If there's no potential for, especially when it, listen, I'm not a big fan of, like,
sure.
especially with this whole thing with Mission Impossible,
universes,
right?
Yeah.
No, but Mission Impossible, we're not talking about Mission Impossible 1. It's Mission Impossible 7 and 8 that Tom Cruise was bitching about.
Yes.
This is a new character. I mean, it's the same character, but it's a new actor playing the character. And with superhero movies, you want to have somebody who has potential to play this character for a decade, which is what we were talking about with Superman, right? So you have Superman. You don't want to have the oldest Superman possible. You want the one that has the decade potential.
Right. But Ezra
Things
Miller,
happen.
It's crazy because it feels like yesterday, but Ezra Miller's been playing the Flash since Batman v Superman, which came out in 2016.
Sure, but but they look like they're 12. I mean,
right. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
You know,
no, 100%.
So there is potential there for more longevity.
Yeah.
And this movie is huge. I mean, the trailer looked awesome.
Yep.
You know, the critics are saying that it's decent, the film, right, so far. And it's going to be out, like you said, by the time that this episode comes out. And I'm sure that in the future you will be doing some sort of review of this movie once you go see
100%.
it. So
I'm excited. I mean, we can talk about the reviews in a minute. One thing I want to bring up, because I know it's a topic that you're very interested in.
Yeah, go.
He was in the Fantastic Beasts movies. They were in the Fantastic Beasts movies.
And they were also in Harry Potter film.
The Fantastic Beasts.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
So at the end, I saw
for whatever reason, I thought you were talking about Narnia. I swear to God, I just totally blanked.
So I saw the last one that I saw was the second one, Crimes of Grindelwald. Johnny Depp was in that one.
Okay.
Movie was awful. Saw it in theaters.
Yeah, I only saw the first Fantastic Beasts. You saw Fantastic Beasts 2 in theaters?
Yeah, I didn't want to. It's not a good movie.
Oh my God.
So it would have been interesting because now David Zaslav has said that the Fantastic Beasts series is over. They're not. They had a plan for 5 or 6 movies. It's not happening anymore. Not great reviews, not a lot of money. Makes sense.
Right.
If they were making another one, though.
Yeah. Because
that movie ends and it's revealed, spoilers, that his character is Dumbledore's brother. So obviously there was going to be a big plot line.
Ezra's character?
Yes.
Okay.
So would they have been in that?
I thought.
Well, actually,
I thought.
Were they in the third one that just came out, like the most recent one, the one with Secrets of Dumbledore?
Wasn't Ezra Miller playing Voldemort or like Tom Riddle or something?
No. He was
like the grandfather of Voldemort.
Ezra was playing. I forget the character's name, but then there's like this big reveal at the end that it's one of Dumbledore's brothers. Let me see. There's a lot. Okay, so Ezra was in the last one too, but they shot that came out in 2022. So they shot that probably came out before this whole thing went down. But my question to you is: they fired Johnny Depp, and they replaced him with Mads Mikkelsen. Would they do the same here?
I think that had a huge. I think that had a huge impact on, like, the whole Johnny Depp thing, that whole trial and everything had a huge impact on Fantastic Beasts, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. But I'm saying, like, because domestic violence, very similar stuff, would they...
but Ezra Miller does not have the same following or support that Johnny Depp
but his
had.
character is a big character. Would they have... Do you think they would have recasted him if they did another movie?
And he went to jail? Like, if he had like
no,
a
he didn't go to jail like this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. They love him. They love them.
Yeah.
There's lots of love for Ezra Miller across the board.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the reviews.
Okay, yeah.
Because we've been talking about marketing a lot, and I think it's important to bring it up. So right now,
without getting too political, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Do you think that there is more support from critics because they identify the way that they do? they're pushing.
Not really.
Like the critics are pushing
Because
that to
honestly,
the
I
front
don't
line.
think a lot of people know that about him or
Them.
about them. So, do you know what I'm saying though? Like that's not, I didn't know for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but let's talk about the critics because I think they're
saying some crazy shit.
So 72% on critic score Rotten Tomatoes, pretty good. That's positive. 95% audience score. Now the film, obviously, those are early screenings and stuff.
Sure.
But the reviews I want to say for a few months before this movie, there's been so much marketing saying James Gunn has said this is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. Obviously, he's just got hired as the DC executive. He needs to speak on that. Tom Cruise, speaking of Tom Cruise, supposedly called Andy Muschietti, the director, and said, I love this movie. They talked on the phone.
Yeah.
Sure. A lot of that. And then the movie comes out in the reviews from, I've heard most part are like, it's good. It's nowhere near the best superhero movie of all time. So what I'm wondering is, did Warner Brothers set out this huge marketing ploy to take away from the fact that Ezra Miller was still in this movie? Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone's thinking, oh my God, it's the best superhero movie ever, and no one's thinking about Ezra Miller. I think that's what it was. And listen, there's definitely studios that pay off people for marketing purposes and all that stuff. To me, this is what it seems like. It doesn't sound like this movie is bad, but it doesn't sound like it's at all what so many people were saying was the best superhero movie ever.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of the Flash, it's a cool character.
Yeah, and this is the first movie we've gotten.
Sure. And listen, you know how I am with superhero movies, okay? But I would take a Tom Holland Spider-Man over an Ezra Miller Flash movie, I'm saying.
Yep.
Or a Robert Pattinson Batman movie.
Yeah.
Like I would rather see one of those than the Flash.
Sure.
In general. It doesn't matter who's playing them.
Especially now I know you're not like deep into the universe stuff.
No, I'm not. I'm really
not. But like even for me, James Gunn just got hired as the new DC head. He has a new universe planned. He's been very vague about whether or not this movie is going to connect to that, whether or not Ezra Miller is going to continue as the character. So that's the other thing is like, which it hurt Shazam, it hurt Black Adam, was like, are these movies even mean anything now? James Gunn's going to do a new thing in 2025.
I've been asking that for years.
Right. Yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of factors. Now it's projected to have, I don't know what its opening weekend was. I want to say it was around 70 million opening weekend, which is definitely way under what I think they were expecting.
For the Flash?
Also, it's the DC universe, which has not had the pull that Marvel has in recent years. And the Flash, like you said, is a big superhero character, but he's not Superman, not Batman.
He's not Spider-Man.
Not Spider-Man.
Right.
So I didn't expect this movie to make crazy money. I also don't think that Michael Keaton being back as Batman is enough of a pull.
Not for today's generation.
It's cool for me. It's cool for the old. Like, it's so funny because it comes out Father's Day weekend, and I've been seeing ads, and it shows Michael Keaton. It's like a movie for all generations, and they're like really trying to like
take your dad to the movies,
right? And sure, but like how much is that? Now Top Gun was different because like that you had like dads and sons who had seen that movie, and you know that was just like a cool moment. But
that was multi-generational. And I mean, let's be honest here. Like Batman's cool, don't get me wrong, but like Top Gun, the first one, and Top Gun Maverick are quintessential Hollywood, that 1980s feel of like a Hollywood blockbuster line up around the theater moment. Like that is a Hollywood blockbuster. Like incredible. Underdog, hero wins, like only one man can save the planet. Like that's so cool. And it's a great I don't know, it's a great film.
Now let me ask you.
This is not that.
Let me ask you.
It can't be that.
Will Ezra Miller continue to be the Flash in James Gunn's universe? Do you think they keep him on?
If I'm James Gunn, no.
I don't think. Yeah, I think they're.
I don't know. I don't think I know enough about James Gunn to make a.
I think they're pumping up this movie so it makes money. They get their money's worth because they made it, and that's it. After the fact, I think they're saying that there's potential that Ezra will continue as a role because they want people to see the movie.
Well, and this is the thing too. When they prep these people for the press, because they do. They do. They send out a thing. Here's what they're going to ask you, and here's what you have to say in return, and nothing. Don't deviate from this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they're under contract and they want to make save face and everything else. The reason he's probably not allowed to talk to them is because among the how are you doing after these allegations? Do you have the next questions are going to be like, are you going to be in a sequel for the Flash? How long do you plan on being? Have you started filming the next Flash yet?
Right.
All of that
and
stuff.
And to be like,
and
what are you going to
answer
say?
that.
Oh yeah, this is Ezra's first movie as the Flash, and it's also the last movie is the Flash.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Yeah. It's not going to.
And what is Muschietti supposed to say there, or Muschietti, whatever?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
What is he supposed to say?
Oh well,
No, he's done.
Yeah.
I'd never make a movie with him again.
Right. At the premiere.
Of course.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
It's the best thing ever,
But
can we really quick before we bounce out of here, can we talk about this article that you sent me right before
what did I send
right
you?
before you walked in?
Oh, Christopher Nolan.
Only because it's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I didn't read the article fully.
I looked into it a little bit. So, do you know what happened with Christopher Nolan and why he was
the Tenet thing.
Explain.
So Tenet came out in 2020.
Okay.
Peak COVID.
Yeah.
It had a release date, theater release date in I want to say late summer. That came out or September.
Okay.
Warner Brothers. That was when Warner Brothers was doing the thing. Remember where they were putting movies out on HBO Max?
Yes.
They wanted to do that with Tenet.
Okay.
And Nolan was like, no way. Obviously, like Tom Cruise, he's a big advocate for movies. He wants the IMAX screens. He's always done that. And he wouldn't do it. He didn't allow it. And they released it in theaters, and it didn't they lost money.
Click accept on your thing, just so you can have the article as well. I'm pulling it up, but.
So, yeah, it basically went into the theaters. It was peak COVID. No one went to the movies.
They weren't allowed to.
No, you could. Like, I went. I saw it. But it was like they probably had just opened the theaters.
People were scared, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't yell at me. Just kidding. I'm kidding. No, but
yeah, that's essentially it. And then he was pissed off about the whole situation. So Universal offered him a major contract to come over to there. And that's it. So Oppenheimer was the first movie that he made with Universal.
Okay, so then recently, Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi took over for Warner Bros.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have David Zaslav too.
He's the CEO.
Yeah.
But they're the executives.
Yeah.
So they're right underneath. They're they implement whatever. They work on behalf of Zaslav. Yeah. Let's be honest here. And it even says in this article that while they were getting interviewed, Zaslav popped in because they were in Vegas at the time. Mm-hmm. And they were meeting with the heads of or the owners of different movie theaters and saying hey, we're gonna bring blockbusters back to the we're gonna save you basically.
Yeah.
You won't have to shut your theaters down. Don't worry. We're gonna bring you good movies too. That's what they said. And while they're in this meeting during the interview, Zaslav came in white T-shirt and baseball cap or whatever, and was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be great. These two are the best,
right.
But the thing is that they also made a joke. Michael DeLuca said in this interview, he goes, yeah, I mean, we're going to try and keep this job for more than 2 years.
Yeah, right.
Because it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
They have their track record, Pam Abdi and Michael DeLuca, they have a pretty decent track record. They're big advocates. So I like these two because they're big advocates of not independent films, but new films, new ideas,
new IPs.
Yeah. And
releasing in theaters, which is something important to David Zaslav, because I think looking back, it clearly was a mistake to do that stuff on HBO Max.
Right. Well, yeah, I would say so.
And that's the main reason why Christopher Nolan left.
Sure. So then the reason I wanted to bring up this story was, one, we were talking about Christopher Nolan a little while ago, but also they are really
trying to get him back.
Yeah, they're begging.
I wonder how that would work though contractually with Universal. Can he just get out of the deal?
Well, we don't know.
Right.
But they also gave him a $1 million. It said seven figure. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5 million. I don't know. $1 million thing for Tenet as good faith.
Yeah. Nice. Huh?
Here's an extra $1 million.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
Right.
Please come back. Love us.
Yeah.
Let's try again.
They do have new leadership there.
Mm-hmm.
So if Nolan feels like they're in good hands, I could see him doing it again. I don't know if he would but if he had a good relationship with Universal making Oppenheimer, maybe he'll stick around.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's
I love that because we don't see this anymore with directors. Back in the day, they used to have deals with Fox. All my movies come out on Fox.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see it a little now with David Fincher. His Mank came out on Netflix. Now you're getting The Killer this year, comes out on Netflix. You're seeing it with the streaming services, but it's like an old thing when a director had a deal with the studio. And they had an office on the lot and like stuff like that. So it's cool. You know?
I love that's like my dream, like
Right.
business wise. Like I love the idea of having a bunch of actors under contract and they have to come every day and like go to acting school, and then they're on the lot, and you just revolving door of like whoever you think will work best. The old school Hollywood stuff, like that's back when Hollywood was cool. Yeah, you know. But I don't know.
I think regardless, listen, wherever Nolan lands, they're going to give him the money. It's going to be a big hit. And that's the bottom line.
But they know that. They're trying, dude, they're trying to save Warner Bros. Like, the Warner Bros. Is on it.
I don't think they need saving.
You're wrong. Dude, you're crazy. That's why they keep they're losing money left and right.
Well, I'm sure every Netflix loses money, too.
I don't think so.
They spend the most money out of any studio.
No, but Warner Bros. Specifically is cratering IPO. And or cratering stock prices, I should say. Amazon bought
MGM.
There's no more MGM Lion. It's Amazon Studios.
Right.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
They could keep it as a subsidiary.
But
when
I'm just
Disney
saying,
bought Fox,
MGM,
like Searchlight is still a thing.
Sure. Yeah. But like MGM as a studio, that was like a pillar for like 100 years. They started Hollywood.
Yeah.
Leo the Lion, gone.
Yeah. I think they made bad decisions during COVID, and I think they're recovering from that now.
Now it's Jeff Bezos roaring.
But I don't think whether they get Nolan back or not is going to, it's other decisions too. It's going to be the Lord of the Rings movies.
What I'm saying is I like these two in this like trending in this direction.
Yeah, no, I think it's good.
And I think that if this is the very first thing, like when you go to a new job or a new and you have the decision to like make company altering changes financially, like we're talking multi-millions of dollars spent on day one. For this to be the first thing you're thinking of means that you actually care about what it is that you're creating. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
When your purpose is to create good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I
think it's trending in a good direction.
It's a cool thing.
But yeah, that'll be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's nice to dive deep into some topics here. So obviously, as I said at the beginning of the episode, we're taking a 1-week hiatus next week, and then we'll be back on the normal schedule the following week. So guys, thank you for watching. As always, comment down below what you thought of the topics today. Let us know. Get your opinion out there. We love it. Send questions in. We'll answer them when we hit the studio on that next episode. Like, subscribe. It supports the channel. We really appreciate it. Until next time, how you doing?